I'm going to start things off by saying something a little crazy. I think if Jonathan David stays with Lille for one more season under Paulo Fonseca, it could be the best thing for him. That means not going to Manchester United, Bayern, Juve, Inter, any of the big clubs. It means staying in France for one more season, and I'm going to tell you why this is what he should do. Ever since Jonathan David has moved to Lille, he's had two very successful seasons so far. In his first season, he scored 13 goals and helped guide his side to an unexpected Ligue 1 title. Lille put a lot of Europe's big clubs on notice after dethroning PSG, and they quickly saw some of their big players sold off. They watched on as Reinildo, Econe, Araújo, Samore, and Maignan walked out the door, and they also saw their manager Christophe Galtier poached by Nice. There were also plenty of rumors surrounding Jonathan David at the time, being linked to clubs like Arsenal, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, among others. However, Lille in the end held on to some of their title-winning squad, and David was set to stay on for one more season. I mean, how bad could it really be to stay at Lille for one more season? I mean, they just won the league, they're going to be playing the Champions League next season, and Jonathan David is consistently scoring at a top 5 level. Well, after Laurent Blanc, Lucien Favre, and Patrick Vieira all rejected the chance to coach the title-winning side that was largely dismantled over the summer, and plus with the club's murky financial situations hanging over them, Jocelyn Gourvenec ended up being named as manager. For those of you who don't know, Jocelyn Gourvenec did most of his best work when working with a relegation-threatened club. When he landed a bigger job with Bordeaux, he was sacked. Now there's a major difference when working with a club a little further up the table as opposed to one working down, and he's just taken on the league champs. With Gourvenec signing on and the fact that the club wasn't properly reinvested in, there were some concerns about how Jonathan David would do. However, those questions were quickly put to bed as David got off to a great start to the season. He cooled off towards the second half, but he still finished with 15 league goals, and he added 3 more in the Champions League. Lille ended up finishing 10th place in the table, and despite their impressive Champions League run, Gourvenec was sacked and Lille had to restart all over again. Luckily for them, Paulo Fonseca was available and agreed to sign on for a 2-year deal. Why does this matter though? Jonathan David has scored 28 goals over the past 2 seasons. He's proven that he can produce in the Champions League, and he scored 21 goals in 32 appearances for Canada. Surely he'll be sold now, right? Well, that's the thing. It's rumored that Bayern Munich and Manchester United are keeping tabs on David, but with the transfer window coming to an end soon, and Lille already beginning their season, it's looking likely that David will play in a 3rd consecutive season in Ligue 1. This will be disappointing news to a lot of Canadian national team supporters who were hoping to see Jonathan David join a club like Manchester United or one of the big 6 in the Premier League. Although in reality, spending another season at Lille under Paulo Fonseca could actually be the best decision for David and his immediate future. Jonathan David and his camp have made it clear that they want to search for a new club this summer. However, if the right project doesn't present itself, they could end up staying put. Now this is due to many reasons, but it's probably fair to assume that David wants to be in peak form leading into the World Cup. Because the World Cup is in November, it makes this transfer window like no other, as there's more risk when making a big move. David wants to join a big club in a top 4 league, and joining them now could make it difficult to break into a starting 11, and there's also no guarantee that he could hit the ground running in his new environment. That's not always a bad thing at the beginning of a transfer, as given some time you could find your way into that starting 11, but when there's a World Cup mid-season, it may not be the ideal time to make a move like this, as opposed to if you did it in a non-World Cup year. Another issue that could put off some of the bigger clubs in Europe from targeting Jonathan David this summer is the fact that he's gone through 2 long goalless droughts. He had a long goalless drought at the beginning of his first season at Lille, and he had a long goalless drought towards the end of his second season. Consistency could still be a bit of an issue, but it does still seem like if David were to find a way to become consistent all season long, he would take a massive step towards becoming a world star. That, my friends, is where Paulo Fonseca comes in. Fonseca has had quite the resume so far, as he's managed in Europe with clubs like Braga and FC Porto, as well as having a very successful 3-year spell with Shakhtar Donetsk, where he went on to win 3 Ukrainian Premier Leagues, 3 Ukrainian Cups, and a Ukrainian Super Cup. From there, he went on to manage Roma for 2 seasons where he got them playing some very attractive football. Now his next task is managing Lille. Reported by L'Equipe during his first press conference, Fonseca confirmed his intention to build an ambitious team that plays attractive football, and he was quoted saying this: "I am an offensive coach. I want to take the initiative, to dominate, to go forward, to control the ball. I want the team to be aggressive when we don't have the ball or when we lose it." Paulo Fonseca's style involves having the ball and taking the initiative to be the offensive team. His methodologies were built around intentional build-up structures, attack-minded fullbacks. He enjoys playing with 2 dual 10s, a goal-scoring midfielder, as well as a number 9 who knows how to score and hold up the ball. He also ensures that his side are able to make tactical tweaks on the fly. which is why you will see them switch from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-4-2-1 system, the two main formations he used while at Shakhtar and Roma. His impact at Lille and for Jonathan David has already been felt, as Lille kicked off their season with an impressive 4-1 victory over Auxerre. In that match, Jonathan David scored 2 goals, he got an assist, and he was the man of the match, putting on a show in Lille's home opener. I know this is only one match into the season, but this already looks like a rejuvenated Jonathan David. Maybe that's because David can finally move on from playing in the 4-4-2 counter-attacking tactics that have grown stale on both him and the team. During Lille's friendly matches and the season opener, we have seen David play in 3 different positions. He has played as a right attacking mid in a 4-2-3-1 system, and he is featured as a dual cam as well as a lone striker in a 3-4-2-1 system. We are now able to see all of David's footballing attributes that make him a well-rounded player as opposed to the ones that were only on display when featuring as a dual striker. When operating as a dual striker in that 4-4-2 system, David had to rely on his teammates to make things happen. He was very constricted and he played off of Yilmaz and he just wasn't able to do a lot. And that's, in my opinion, why a lot of this inconsistent form happened, because a lot of the players around him just simply weren't able to make things happen. Specifically now playing as a right attacking mid in a cam, you will see the best out of David because he can create this space for himself. He doesn't have to rely on any players to do it for him. He's good enough to make things happen, and so far, he has been. When featuring on the right hand side, you see his pace down the wings, but you see him cut into the middle a lot. That's because he likes to play a pass and get it back and start creating things for himself. When he features as a cam, he's going to have a lot of the ball, which most cams do. You see him having intricate passes, making his way up the pitch. But when he features a lone striker this season, I think that's where you're going to see him maybe struggle, which is why I think for right now, Jonathan David's positions will be that dual cam and the right attacking mid. Now let's take a look at Lille's opening goal of the match. David did a no-look back flick to perfectly set up Benjamin Andre, who smashed it home. To be able to pick out a pass like that just shows how good of a passer and what a presence of mind David has. He's almost anticipating the play before it happens. And let's not forget that David played as a 10 in Belgium with Ghent, so this is nothing new to him. His first goal of the match was almost as impressive as the assist, having the confidence to take on the defenders, shifting the ball onto his left foot and curling it past the keeper at his far post. When a player is running at you and can find the back of the net that well with either foot, it's almost impossible to defend. His second goal of the match was nothing special, but he still had to be cool in front of a goal and have the composure to finish it off. This was an absolute statement performance from Jonathan David, almost a come and get me card, or at least keep an eye on me card this season from some of the bigger clubs in Europe, because he's in for a special year. Lille's next opponents were Nantes, and that match ended in a 1-1 draw. Jonathan David started once again as a right attacking mid in a 4-2-3-1 system, and he finished off playing the match as a lone striker. He looked very deadly coming from the right hand side, and he was involved in his team's only goal of the game, setting up Ismaili after a well-worked team goal to make it 1-1. That is 4 goal contributions right now for Jonathan David in 2 matches so far. What a start to his Liga campaign. If Paulo Fonseca can get David to play like this all season long by setting the team up in a way to be successful and to get the best out of his players, then David will have some of the biggest clubs in the world looking to sign him once the transfer window reopens. Fonseca was impressed with his team's performance in the big win, but he's already showing despite the result there will be areas to improve in, as he had this to say. We had a great first half where we didn't give Auxerre any chances. The team relaxed a bit in the second. The goal is to maintain that intensity throughout the game. We could have ended the game in a better way, but we did so many good things I can't give too much value to the goal we suffered. We want to put intensity in the game, not just with the ball but without the ball. We want to press high, we want to react fast. For this, we have to be physically well prepared. We worked on this and I think the team responded well today. I like the mobility in the play in spaces. I always want the players to start games strong, but I couldn't have asked for a more perfect start. It gave a lot of confidence to the team, but we still have to improve because Liga is very strong. Fonseca is already showing a winning mentality by demanding perfection. He's going to always continue to improve this team, which is going to be very useful, especially to a player like Jonathan David. The summer transfer window has been a testing one already for Fonseca, as Lille are coping with the departures of numerous players including Botman, Yilmaz, Sanchez, Shelik, and Onana. Although Lille are looking to further shape the club into Fonseca's image by looking to bring in Ludovic Blas from Nantes and Mady Camara from Olympiacos. There's no question that Jonathan David will be very important to the success of Lille this season. If Fonseca can continue to get the best out of Jonathan David in these new roles, he will definitely tap into his footballing potential, lead him to continually develop his game and make him a more consistent player. Which could mean by the time the winter transfer window or the summer transfer window open back up, a lot of Europe's biggest clubs could try to sign him. This is just the beginning of what could be a beautiful relationship between Paulo Fonseca and Jonathan David. That's all the time we have for this episode. I hope you all enjoy it, and if you did, as always, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub as well, as we've already hit our goal of 50,000 subscribers, so we know the next goal is 100,000. If you want to help us get there, dropping a sub will definitely do that. Also, be sure to head over to One Soccer and subscribe for all the best Canadian soccer coverage. My name's Josh Deming. Thank you all so much for watching and take care. Cheers, friends.